At 7:48 p.m. on May 24, 1990, a silver two-door 1986 Oldsmobile Cutlass was found abandoned on the side of Interstate 96 near Fowlerville, Michigan. There are no signs of damage to the vehicle, its doors were unlocked, and the engine was left idling with the key in the ignition. The purse, wallet, and shoes belonging to well-liked substitute schoolteacher Paige Renkoski had also been left in the car. Despite the strange circumstances, the police officer inspecting the scene had the vehicle towed. It was determined that the Oldsmobile belonged to artist Renkoski. Attempts to immediately reach her were unsuccessful as she was away in Georgia. Artist had been concerned about her daughter Paige. It was unlike her not to make contact after several days. Paige's fiancé had also not seen her. He went to Artist's home and learned of the abandoned car after checking the answering machine. He notified police about his fiancée, and the Oldsmobile was now treated as a crime scene, with Paige a missing person. At around 11:30 a.m. on May 24, Paige drove Artist to the Detroit Metropolitan Airport, where her mother got on the flight to Georgia. Paige was able to use the Oldsmobile for the day and had planned to run a few errands before returning home. She visited a female friend in Canton for lunch and then went to a liquor store where she purchased a bottle of beer. The store clerk recalled Paige's distinctive necklace. The bottle of beer Paige had purchased would be among the items left in the car. At around 3:30 p.m., Paige was seen pulled over on the side of Interstate 96. She was speaking with two African-American men. The witness believed that there was another man sitting inside a maroon-colored minivan parked near Paige's car. According to the witness, Paige seemed agitated and was seen throwing her hands up in the air. 4 hours later, the same witness drove by and noticed that the car was still in the same spot. Believing something was wrong, he called the police. Paige's family found this report strange and worrying. They commented that the 30-year-old would not stop unless she knew the man or if something was wrong. Somebody got her to pull over at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a freeway. I mean, how does that even happen? The first thought was that Paige had been involved in a car accident, but as stated earlier, there are no signs of damage to the vehicle. An examination of the Oldsmobile turned up several fingerprints. However, it was unable to be determined who they belonged to. Paige's fiancé was initially considered as a person of interest in her disappearance. The couple's relationship was far from perfect, but after investigating this possibility, detectives ruled him out as a suspect. Paige had not touched her bank account since her disappearance, leading to the belief that foul play is very likely in the case. At the time of the disappearance, there are reportedly multiple incidents of people attempting to impersonate police officers in order to get motorists to pull over. This would explain why Paige had stopped when she otherwise probably wouldn't have. In 2001, police questioned an inmate at the Michigan State Prison in relation to the case. The man had been involved in a carjacking that took place only a few weeks after Paige's disappearance. Investigators believe that he may have been one of the men seen with Paige. The man took a polygraph test and passed. After this, he was ruled out as a suspect. In 1999, authorities received a tip that contained a letter and a map claiming that Paige Renkoski had been murdered, and her remains were at the location circled on the map. In 2011, police searched a pond in Handy Township using ground-penetrating radar while a dig occurred in Conway Township. Cadaver dogs did indicate that there were human remains on the property. However, after an extensive search and excavation, authorities were unable to find anything. Paige Renkoski has been missing for 32 years. It is extremely likely that she met with foul play, and while police have looked into a number of persons and received over 1,000 tips, they've been unable to crack the case. Sadly, artist Renkoski passed away in 2017, not knowing what happened to her daughter.